On transitions, the sophisticated slacker gets a job. From carport Batcave recluse to bicycle jockey commuter. A transformation from unemployed to employed. On testimony from an unidentified bystander, you heard this before, he just jumped. He jumped right in. There are only two options now as he sees it. He'll either become known as the hero of the life raft, or he'll simply, at the very least, be saved. Both are favorable ends, one must admit, but the humiliation of being just a survivor must surely in the end be too much for a man to bear. On the essence of the aforementioned road novel. The road novel, strange, detached, geographically spread out, smooth but choppy, digressive, opaque, yes, a bit stony, details fallen upon, but not enthusiastically, ecstatically sought after. Instead, details grudgingly offered to suggest spaced-out, embarrassed narrator, not a literary one per se, but for this beautiful work, therein lies the literary art. From cocoon to unsteady moth. On the essence of the aforementioned new novel. The new novel has a new narrator, more used to his condition. Life now largely stays too much the same rather than changing too quickly all the time. Instead of grappling with love and friendship, identity in a fluctuating setting, childhood, adolescence, college, post-college, now our narrator is well versed in the strange nature of the adulthood he's settled into. Sure, the locations still change from time to time, year to year, but the constants are always as significant as the dramatic variations in landscape. For example, western mountain ranges, Connecticut towns and cities, Miami, Rhode Island coast. The landscapes change year to year, but each place has its own phone companies, landlords, small-time jobs, coffee shops with amusing, annoying, pun-filled names, baked in Telluride, the daily grind, the coffee stain. Our narrator speaks in the first person. He's more calm than his half-brother Dan, a handful of years older, doesn't feel the need to put you through what maybe you haven't gone through. Now he's an older, wiser, calmer, less ironic Dan. Now an older, wiser, calmer, less ironic Dan tells the story of his search. One he's sure he has undertaken for life, for the long haul, not one he's frantically, reluctantly pursuing. Rather, it's a calmer search, a little like Binks's, but a search by another name in other places. Primarily not a theological search, but as ever a romantic one. Very much like High Water Dan, we are still searching for love. On important current events, summer of '97. Tiger wins Masters. Pete Sampras wins 4th Wimbledon at age 25. Sunday, July 6th, 1997. On the inspiration delivered by a golf course in the Gulf South. It's no wonder those Mediterranean types were pantheistic, creators of Zeus, Athena, and the like. The clouds down here, nearer to the tropics, bespeak a good deal of heavenly activity. Those evangelical hymnals don't do these clouds any justice. The shit is bigger than it ever was before. The shit is bigger than it ever was before. I never before was so awed by the sky. Sunsets, sure, but how about 5 p.m. after a heavy rain shower in City Park in August? Ever seen it? Yes, I am lucky. Tiger would understand. Everything we have, we owe in part to golf. Not so true for me, really, but that doesn't mean I don't appreciate it. On what the sophisticated slacker is going to miss in his life. Cold air, here, I gotta read that again. On what the sophisticated slacker is beginning to miss in his life. Cold air outside, hills, waves, feeling as though I'm always on a path, constantly reevaluating what the path may be, traveling, writing, shaping an ideal destiny, surprising myself with strength and direction, and reading the New York Times every Sunday and the New Yorker every Wednesday. Some of these I miss and I don't miss. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. In parentheses, yes, I'm finding the aging process as moody as the growing up process. On justifying the current state of affairs. This must be the restful period of my life. That time when I need not read so much as dream and think. The calm, the map making. On justifying one's personal contradictions. I don't so much operate in the middle ground. I am effectively very face and ad man, and likewise, conversely, the sage, humble introvert. I find the compromisers in the middle to be unsure of how to live, difficult and uninteresting. Though of course I myself am one as well. On the latest summation of a titillating storyline. Boy moves south, boy meets girl, boy meets woman, boy gets employed, boy gets unemployed, boy spaces out, boy tries to shed woman, boy loses girl, boy accepts woman, boy gets girl back, boy gets new apartment with girl, boy and girl get a dog, boy gets a good job, but boy is still a boy, unwilling to write anything in stone, not yet a man. Boy harbors vanity, ambition, and anger like a real man. Wonders if it ever changes, and if so, what it feels like to be every minute content. Slowly, boy learns, and learns to live with everything. Slowly. That is the latest summation of a titillating storyline, not to be confused with real life, of course. There was no woman. That's purely fictional. On little things that, when grouped together, make up what love is. Sue me if I'm not a product, excuse me, let me read that again, on little things that, when grouped together, make up what love is. Sue me if I'm a product of my upbringing, she says. So I'm not some bike-riding bitch from hell who makes witty comebacks and doesn't like to cook. Sue me. Afterthought. So I'm not some rock climbing, well, I have rock climbed. And that, in part, is why he loves you. On a blocked writer's content. Man, I can't even. The title is of this journal entry, On a Blocked Writer's Lament. Oh, the pain that comes from reading such well-organized but useless trifles while trying to push forward and leave the past to unfinished. Okay, one more time. We are almost done, by the way. One more journal entry after this. On a blocked writer's lament. Oh, the pain that comes from reading such well-organized but useless trifles while trying to push forward and leave the past to finished pages. Let's read that one more time. Oh, the pain that comes from reading such well-organized but useless trifles while trying to push forward and leave the past to finished pages. And here's the last one. On the sophisticated slacker's objective. My objective as a writer is to seek peace and contentment and to display it. And to display it as it is sought and found in increments. One more time, and then we'll close the book. On the sophisticated slacker's objective, my objective as a writer is to seek peace and contentment and to display them as they are sought and found in increments. Sincerely, the sophisticated slacker, for now, signing off. And now I'm going to get to the 3 short novels.